Alright, so today we are going to look at how to mount an airsoft gun on your robot. If you look at the pictures of Charlie, you can see how that's done. Squidward still doesn't have a gun mounted. So the first thing I'm going to do is, using this Sharpie, I'm going to mark out all the different places on the gun that I can safely cut off before I have a problem with the gun working. Alright, one thing that I like about this gun, I got it at Walmart, is that it's made out of clear plastic so that you can see the internal workings of it, and you can see where you need to avoid cutting. You can also see where the different bolts are used to, or screws are used to hold it together. And this really gives you a good way of knowing what you can cut and what needs to stay. Alright, so with the Sharpie I basically marked out that I'm going to cut down the back stock here, so all of that will be removed. I'm going to cut underneath here and then up and then across, so I'll leave the barrel intact and I'll make a nice flat spot right there. Now here there are two tools that you can use to accomplish this job. The first tool, as you can see, is a bandsaw. And the second tool is a simple Dremel that you can pick up at any hardware store. What you can do is mount a cutoff wheel on the front of this and then use the cutoff wheel to just follow your lines. I'm going to try this with the bandsaw. I've never actually tried it on the bandsaw before, but let's see how it goes. Alright, now you notice here I had to cut straight in and then I have to back out the blade, especially because I'm cutting into plastic where it can bind. I don't want to do that with the blade running, because then I can pull the blade off of its tracks. Okay, here we go. Now we have a much lighter gun. I could probably cut some more of this plastic off, but you know, there's a question as to how effective that would be and what that would accomplish for me. But what we do have here is we have a gun that I can now control using my relay, where a lot of the extra stuff has been cut off and put out of the way. And now we're ready to cut a bracket, which we can use to mount this on our robot. Alright, so using the computer I drew up and cut a bracket, now that our gun's cut out, that will hold the gun, and I made bolt holes, or screw holes, that'll go through here to hold the gun in place, and then 2 holes in the bottom for mounting it on the pan tilt assembly. Is I'm going to glue the paper onto a piece of aluminum stock. And you can spray a liberal amount on. And go ahead and lay the paper onto the aluminum. I like to try to line up at least one edge. Doesn't really matter, I'm going to cut it, trim it anyway. And then just rub it nice and flat. And there you go. There's our bracket, all ready to get cut out. I'm going to wait about 10 minutes for the glue to get tacky before I cut it on the bandsaw. Now on the bandsaw, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out the same way I would any other bracket. And just, start out with a rough cut and then follow the lines. Alright, now we have a rough cut, and now I can just do the detail cutting. Easy, nice and easy. Now time to move over to the drill press. Okay, so here you can see I've drilled at least pilot holes in all the 1/2 inch holes, and I've drilled 1/8 inch holes everywhere where they need to be. Next I'm going to switch to the 1/2 inch bit, and I'll drill all of those holes next. Now the last station on our tour is the vise that I use for bending. It's bolted down, which is nice because that keeps it nice and stable. And I went right through the bench with the bolts to hold it in place. You go ahead and you can use sheet metal clamps, grip onto it, and bend. This is pretty thin aluminum. Once you get the bend started, you can finish it off by hand. And then sometimes a couple of whacks with the hammer gets it nice and square. Alright, and again, once the fold is started, you can finish it off by hand. And there we go, nice and square. Go ahead and clamp it off. And then here I can just use the table. A nice 45-degree bend in the end there. Alright, so here is the finished bracket. Alright, need to put some screws, a screw through here and a screw through there. Maybe some zip ties, but I don't know, that gets a little cheesy. But all in all, not bad.